What's up, everybody? Well, today I'm here to bring to you another vacuum that's in my vacuum collection. This time it is of a vacuum that I had no intentions of getting. What I have for your viewing pleasure today is another variant of the Eureka the Boss Smart Vac. This is one of the many versions of the Boss Smart Vac that were out by then. This was actually one of the high-end models of the time, since it has the power paw tool mounted on the back, and it's just one step below the pet edition version, which that one would have been purple. I actually grew up with one of these, the Boss Smart Vacs, but it was the turquoise version, and I do have a video of it that I made years ago on this channel. I will link the video to that in the description box of this video. But I also did have another The Boss Smart Vac of this. It was a little bit older of a model. It was a burgundy red model that had the clear post-motor filter cover, and it did not have the power paw tool, unfortunately. But I had that one for a while, sold it a while ago after putting a new belt in it, and that was it with that one. I actually got my hands on this one from my cousin through my uncle on my mom's side of the family. Unfortunately, my cousin's wife, her mother passed away from cancer, so yeah, just a moment to keep her and her family in your prayers. So because of that, this vacuum was left unattended with no user. So my cousins sought this out to be given to me, since I'm the guy who likes collecting, fixing, restoring vacuums and occasionally selling them. So he decided to give this to me when the time came. So luckily, since me and my family always have big get-togethers every big holiday season, the next one I went to, this was actually given to me for free. I didn't pay them anything. I just received a vacuum, and the repairs I threw into it were my own spendings. So I initially wanted to get this vacuum because it was the high-end version with the power paw tool, but originally I wanted the older blue version simply because that one had a more attractive color. The red version did look nice, and I do remember my aunt and uncle on my mom's side having this version of the vacuum at their old lake house that they don't have anymore. So this vacuum was there. Weirdly enough, the lake house had no carpeting. It just had cheap bare floors, which I honestly didn't understand because, in my opinion, these vacuums are way too powerful for simple area rugs. So I don't know why that is, but that vacuum served its purpose great over there. And I've always liked how it had the power paw tool, while my mom's turquoise model that she bought new from Walmart didn't. So now that I have this vacuum, I figured I would go ahead and give you a full video on it, now that I have it in my possession. So let's go ahead and give a walk around and do just that. So this does have a interesting ergonomic handle design right here. It does feel pretty comfortable while using. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the best grip because it's all plastic feeling. And here is obviously your power paw tool attachment. One thing I do love what Eureka does with these is they have these little riser visors on the front, which this can flip out, and you can clean the backs of carpeted stairs, which I find very clever. Why don't other vacuum companies use this technology on their turbo tools? So as we move along down here, you have a little cord hook mounted on the front so you can mount your cord right there so you don't have to reach all the way down. You do have a suction diverter tool right here that's manually controlled, that you can have it either go through your hose right here or through the floor right there. And it all travels up this nice big large clear fill tube that leads into the bag and comes down from the head. It's very, very large. And because of that, the airflow is really amazing. A lot of the cheap vacuum companies, department store vacuum companies, Hoover, Dirt Devil, Eureka, were all in a big gamble with each other to try to have the best performing upright vacuum. But in my honesty, I think Eureka was kind of that balance between like excellent performance and overall half decent build quality. And if you think about it, in the models that came later with this large fill tube running off the side that doesn't go through a hose, this is kind of, in a way, Eureka's first version of the airspeed technology before it was even thought of. There was the latest version of the 4870 model Boss Smart vacuums that was called the Air Extreme, that did have the airspeed gold fill tubes, which were all flashy and nice looking, even though, I do admittedly like those because of the gold aesthetic. But that one obviously was black and it had no headlight, unfortunately. But it did market the airspeed technology on this platform of vacuum that practically started it at all. So you also do have your suction diverter that it'll divert everything through your hose on the back, which I'll show you that later. So to get access to your bag, just flip this bag door up to get it in your bag. This is Eureka's double R bags that are mounted directly from the top, that are a true top fill bag design. So you had to release it, you just pull that tab right here and the bag will just pop down. You can get it out like so. The bags aren't really the biggest, but I do like how they're filled in from the top. This, as you can see, is currently running a HEPA cloth bag, which is a generic HEPA cloth bag by Vacuum America Clean. It comes in a 9-pack and you have more bags than you know what to deal with. And it's just excellent as far as filtration goes. So you also do have a cheap little post filter mounted right here. Yeah, it's not really the best, but you want to make sure you have good filtration bags before all of this goes into your motor. So I suppose you could add a second one for a second layer of filtration. But yeah, it just is not really the best filtering vacuum, if I'm all honest. Which is why I more than recommend getting these Vacuum America Clean bags, if you can find them. Alright, this doesn't really click down the best, which is one thing I don't really like about these. So let's put the bag door back on. And down here you do have your post motor filter with sealed HEPA filtration, quote unquote. This thing doesn't latch on very good, and the plastic makes so much creaking noises that I'm worried I might break something if I push it too hard. So here is your big post motor filter. It is HEPA media filter. I will credit them for that. So yeah, as you can see, there is a little rubber gasket on the back to create a good seal, which it does do. Which this thing is definitely better sealed than most other clean air upright vacuums of the time in its price range. So there we have right there, and good thing it clicked on this time. Down here you do have your carpet height adjustments, which is a 9 position, I should mention. I always like to leave it in the second to lowest, the highest, or the lowest, the second from middle down setting for the pile of this carpet. There's the Boss Smart Vac label right there. You have your brush roll control right here. Pull this all the way back to turn your brush roll off. Push it forward to turn it on. And this does have somewhat of a feature where the brush roll will shut off when the vacuum is in its upright position, but however, it's not really that effective, so the brush roll may still be freewheeling when it's upright, but not a major deal. Just as long as it performs its duty when it's dropped down on the carpet, I got no complaints. And it's a 12 amps of max power. You also do have an interesting looking belt view window that is translucent on the side here, so you can see how your belt is doing as far as life goes, which definitely I find convenient if you're checking it for any breaks. But unfortunately, this does get faded over time, so you can't see it too well. So now let's go ahead and flip this thing underneath to show you the underside. Here is the brush roll. It is a wooden roller brush roll with very stiff bristles. I do believe this brush roll is manufactured by Cleveland Wood Products, which make great high quality brush rolls. And they just work amazing. This has excellent carpet agitation. Also coupled with that very high airflow, this thing will be an excellent carpet cleaner. So that is one thing I really love about these. They have excellent cleaning performance. So now let's go ahead and show you everything on the back side. You have right here your upholstery tool mounted on the back here. Not really the easiest to get to, but there it is. It attaches right there. It's a pretty stiff connection. You do have a little carry handle on the back here. And your dusting brush would mount right here. This particular dusting brush is not original. This is actually a Hoover dusting brush that does fit, but doesn't really hold in place very well because it was obviously not designed for this. And you do have right up here your two extension wands right here. You can pull out and you can attach it on the end of each other. Attach it over here at the big wand at the end here, and you have a nice long reach. So, pretty interesting how that is designed, but it does kind of convenient. You can store two wands inside each other. And your hose is mounted on the back here, so you can get access right there. It is flexible, but doesn't really have as long of a reach. But it does get by. There we go. And your model number is right down here. If I can show it to you guys any better. By Electrolux Home Care Products Incorporated. This is model 4870 type MZ-2 and 120 volts, 60 hertz, 12 amps. Assembled in Mexico, which was a thing for Eureka back then to cut costs, but at least it's not made in China. If anyone knows how to serial date these, please let me know. I want to say this was made in either 2010 or 2011. So it's definitely not the oldest vacuum, but definitely was a good vacuum for its time. And also you do have rubber coated wheels on the bottom right here, which is one thing I do like over the early models. And you do have your pedal release right here, pretty stiff as they get over the years. But they have actually always been that stiff. I do not know why Eureka always made those super stiff, hard to release pedal releases. So now let's go ahead and release the power cord, which the cord I will say is pretty nice and long. It's got to be somewhere in the 30-foot range. So let's go ahead and plug this guy in. And now we will go ahead and turn this thing on and give you a demo of it running. So, power switch is up front here, typical Eureka 4870 fare, but the later models had the power switch orientation reversed. The original one, like my burgundy one that I once had back to turn on and forward to turn off. This one's forward on, back off. So not a major deal, it's just something to point out if you're going from an early model to a late model. But anyway, here we go. Propelling itself. That's just how aggressive the agitation of this brush roll is. thing runs very smooth. The agitation is so aggressive that, for one, yes, it pulls the vacuum forward like it's a self-propelled, but you could actually feel the vibration of the agitation through the carpet just a few feet back from you. That's just how powerful that is. So let's go ahead and show you the hose suction. So yeah, turn that on, then move all the suction through your hose through that diverter valve right there. That's just how powerful the suction is. Really good. Let's go ahead and bring out your 2 extension wands. And then you can attach at the end like such. Upholstery tool can mount on the front like that. Adjusting brush. And last, let's go ahead and show you the power paw tool. Unfortunately, I do not have a crevice tool on me at the moment, but I'll find that later. So here is the power paw tool. It's suction driven. With that, so you can clean the back of carpeted stairs. Very clever feature that I wish a lot of other companies would come up with. Then when you're done with hose, just simply flip the diverter valve and it'll all go back to the head on the front. And there you have it. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this video on the Eureka the Boss Smart Vac. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.